Yeah, let's continue the session, guys. So now I have my basic t-shirt, for example. So this shape is little awkward, so it has to be little straight. So that's fine. I don't worry about the lines for now. I'll just try to create my basic shapes and outlook of my dress. Okay, I'll clean it later. First, try to get your understanding how the dress works on the body. Now you can see the t-shirt, how it's working. If I zoom out, can you see the t-shirt is alive? Alive means kind of like, it's not a plain flat image of a t-shirt. It has its foldings. It has how it's laying on the body. You can feel that t-shirt material and the fabric, how it's lying on the human body, right? You guys can understand me? So that's very important to understand the physical property of your garment. Okay, so don't just draw them. Okay, okay, dress means like, the same straight flat lines or something like that. Give a life to the drawing. Give a life to whatever you drawing, either it's a garment or croquis. Give that kind of a life to it. Okay, so garment won't lies on every body. Like, if you stand straight, it works differently. If you stand, like, give a pose, it works differently. Look yourself, stand in front of the mirror and look yourself and observe yourself, like, how the garment falling on your body, and look how the fabric is getting fold, like, how it's laying over there, for example, in the shoulder line, chest or waist, like, wherever it's like, how it's going. And if you're wearing a long dress, how it's following, how it's falling on the floor, and how it's creating a drape. Okay, how it's creating that kind of an accessibility to that kind, like, always keep observe those things and try to draw them, okay, on your drawing. That's very important. So I don't mind for now for this rough lines. Right now I'll keep it clean, so this way I think I can get my lines like this. And of course here I'll get another kind of interpretation, because it's a major fold over there. So I'll give more folds over here in this area session, and I'll give a folds towards the stripe because the body is coming in this direction. So the fold, whatever the folds gonna be, like, it will be like this kind of a session. Okay, and this way you can see how my fabric is falling over here. And the arm also I'll get some snack, like, a small kind of line of the folds over here. So this is the session how this fabric gonna goes. Rest of the cleaning section I'll keep it in the last, so I don't care right now. So I just try to create my drawing. Before coloring itself, why I'm drawing the dress means, like, depends. Like, if you're drawing a collection, better color your croquis first, then after that draw your dress, because you don't need to redraw the croquis. For example, like, in your practical daily life, what you're going to do is basically create 5 or 10 croquis of yours, okay, and color them and keep it aside. Okay, whenever you're drawing a collection, use those 10 croquis, or like, use 5 croquis or 3 croquis from them. Okay, and you can simply just, you need to draw a dress on top of it. That is the advantage with your digital platform, that you can't do it in your hand drawings, right? That's why I use a digital drawing a lot. And one more best thing with the digital is I no need to refill my colors. I just need to buy this Photoshop. I don't buy the Photoshop, I buy this Adobe Creative Suite that gives me access of all the 25 applications. Okay, so that's way cheaper for the students. So you can buy, like, $20. That will be somewhere around 1,500 rupees for like, if you buy the subscription per month. So that's way cheaper if you can compare to the other things. So I buy this subscription, so I keep my Photoshop, like, use this one instead of buying, like, croquis, sorry, not croquis. Instead of buying like a lot of stellars, graphite pencils, like, a lot of color pencils, watercolors, that's also expensive, right? And whenever you want to draw somewhere, you need to carry all this stuff there. For me, I don't need to carry anything. I just need to carry my laptop, that's it. I don't need to carry anything, right? I even don't need an online, or I mean internet or anything for that. Even if it's a need an internet, now you can access with your phone, and you can connect your laptop to your phone, and you can access your Photoshop, right? So that's more easy for me. Of course, you guys need to carry, if it's a foldable laptop or Dell or gaming laptop, obviously you need to carry your drawing tab and your laptop. For me, I carry my Surface Book or my iPad, that's it. It's more cheaper for me and more convenient for me. I don't need to carry a bunch of stuff. I don't need to fill my house with a lot of markers and watercolors and everything. And of course, I like that platform too. I'm an illustrator too. So it's my hobby. I carry those things, but nowadays I'm completely using digital application. I'm not using any hand drawings basically. I completely transferred myself into digital. But sometimes it's a practice that I do drawings by hand itself. And for example, let me show you this. Yeah, for my practice, you can see the details, and it's a combination of medias, graphite pencil, and watercolors and liners. And this is a watercolor paper. So I don't want to buy this stuff. This stuff is very expensive. So instead of buying all this kind of stuff, I simply got my Photoshop and I use that. It's more cheaper and better and easier also. And you can see. So it's up to your choice, guys. Whatever you make it comfortable, you can use those medias. But let's right now focus on the Photoshop digital application. Okay. So now I have my t-shirt. Now let's draw the jeans. So I'll keep my new layer for this one too. I don't want to merge those layers. So I name this dress to the top. I'll keep the jeans in the bottom, like this is the bottom way. So obviously on behind the top, I'll keep my jeans or trousers or pants. Let's name it as a simple pants. Okay. Now let's draw the denim or jeans. Right now I'm going with the streetwear, very simple one. So we can discuss more next session, like other drawings. If I'll try to show the previous work or something like where I can use that drawing. Okay. So this is my jeans. So I'll try to draw it. It's a top. So it's under this kind of a proportion. So let's keep this proportion here. So is crossing this kind of a line. Mark my lines, and it's going to be goes to the crotch and crotch folds. Okay, that's where my crotch. And I'll see that's for proportion or not. I think that's good. But if anything needed, I'll work on that. It's a skinny jeans. So example, so obviously there's going to be a fold because he's giving this kind of a proportion. But I think I draw a normal cotton, so I need to arrange this line. Yeah. Don't get such a straight line. So you have a little finer details over there. And here you'll get a, sorry, I think I draw a bigger line. Sorry about that. So near the calf muscle, obviously it's going to be more tight, and because of this muscle, is like skin tight jeans or something like that. So you'll get this kind of a fold because here there's a proportion of angle of standing proportion. So obviously the jeans is bending towards this direction. So you have a smaller folds here. You have a little more cleaner position, but obviously you're going to be have a little because it's a skin tight. So going to have a small kind of a wrinkle kind of this kind of a folds. So that's where you're gonna draw this one, and it's gonna be this kind of a direction over here. So it's going towards the left. So that's where you're gonna denim has this direction because you're stretching this leg. So here kind of a garment falling on your position, and here you'll have more kind of a folds here. So because it's, that's where you're gonna see those kind of a drawing. If any more folds, I'll give the depths later. If anything I don't want, so I'll try to draw about the ankle of skin type. So I have little fabric there. So in the knee, we have some folds. So that's where it gives you the life there. And now zoom out and see where you can feel that garment gonna works there and how it's gonna runs on human body, and is needed, I'll later change or I'll add it. That's where you can get your life, the garment. Okay, so that's the crotch area, and now you can see the garment how it's working on human body. See now, any doubts over here, guys?
No, sir.
Okay. So this is very important. When you draw something, you need to understand how the garment working on your body. Okay, that's a way you can say styling, and that's the way you can say designing. Because if you don't understand the fabric physical property, how can you design them? You understand me? Not every garment works like a same flat, right? For example, simply you can say in your family members, your mom going to be different, your father going to be different. Obviously they have different kind of interpretations, right? Someone wants to control you, someone wants to give a freedom for you, someone wants to be friendly with you, someone want to be strict with you. But not all the family members going to be the same, right? So you have such a kind of a combination, then only you feel that house is kind of fun, and it's a home end of the day. You understand me? I'm trying to mix your basic life into this one. So in that way, you might understand why it's very important when you're drawing a dress, so that's how it gives a life to it. For example, if you go to your home, no one gonna speaks to you. Everyone is so silent. Everyone doing their job, and you doing your job. Hardly you can stay in that house for 1 day or maybe 2 days. Third day, fourth day, you don't have anyone to speak. Even if your parents are not speaking to you, if you do, your brother, your siblings are not speaking with you, means obviously it feels that you, even your house becomes so dull, right? You feel like lifeless in that house. You feel like annoyed. The same way your illustration is also, if you don't draw this kind of a foldings, this kind of a details, your illustration also looks like a lifeless. Okay, so it won't gives you any kind of a design interpretation to work on it, basically. So now if I have any embroidery details, now I can draw on top of them very clearly as per the fabric, how the fabric is lying, and depend upon the fabric I can apply my embroidery details. So any kind of a details, I'll do them as per this one. Okay, so I'll try to keep it today for this session, guys. So tomorrow we can discuss how to color them, how to apply the fabrics, how to give the details, because I don't want to put everything today on your head. Okay, it's gonna be too much for you guys. So today, so I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to tell you, right? So any doubts so far, guys? So let's keep the session for the doubts and questions, or anything if you guys want to repeat. Okay, I can repeat those things and I can explain them. So any doubts, any questions, you guys can ask me now. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, let's if you guys don't have any questions, then I'll continue to keep this session, I'll explain more things on this one. I'll show you more examples. I'm getting into the mouse, guys, so I'm not going into the drawing. Please let me know before getting into this one. So now you can see these details, and you guys remember the brush settings, right? And please save them somewhere, or note it down. And as I said, always name your layers and bring as many as layers. Now, for example, see, if I have any correction in my trouser pants, I can simply go into that layer and I can simply correct them. Okay. So if I don't want any details I want to change in my top, I can simply go there and I can simply correct them. Okay. So no need to erase everything and redraw everything. Okay. If I made some mistake in the top, I can simply go into that layer. I don't erase the bottom things, or human body or anything. It will stays there. So that makes your work more easier and more comfortable, and less struggle also at the same time. See, I finished this outline sketch hardly an hour, not even an hour, right? Of course, I'm explaining you guys and teaching you guys, so it took a little longer time. Usually, I take this when I'm drawing myself. I'll complete it in, like, 15 to 20 minutes. That's it. I'll get this position by the time. I'll draw my croquis. I'll draw my garments and everything. Then I spend my rest of the day on the details. How are we gonna color them? How are we gonna give the details, embroideries, and all these things. So this is the basic things when I usually go when I'm drawing any kind of an illustration. So let's see the second, guys. So I'll show you a few garments and, like, how the silks and everything. Just as an example, I downloaded a few things so you guys can understand them. So by looking them and observe it, very important. So when you saw something, you need to feel that fabric in your mind itself only. And okay, this is how the fabric gonna falls on the body. That this is not just for illustration. It also helps you to think about your design development also. Okay. For example, see this one. It's a silk, and see how this fabric is falling on the human body. Okay, if you saw this skirt, it's straight, even it's a line, you can see the shape over here in the bottom. See the shape over here, how these falls are occurring over here, and you can see this line over here. Convert this one into geometrical imagination and observe how the garment is working on the human body. Okay, when you tie a belt over here, see how the fabric changing the position and the shape on the human body. And when you lift your arm, see the fabric, how it's coming from this area. You guys can see the screen. You guys can see my arm shape over here, right? See how this fabric is coming from this line to this line. Okay, see how these folds are occurring over here. So these are very important. Look them, try to understand them, okay, and observe them and see how you want to draw them. Okay, so these are the things you guys need to keep it in your mind when you're drawing an illustration. Okay, that's what you can see in your Bulgo textbook also. So this is one example picture I downloaded from the textbook. See this one. Once you have your croquis, then you draw your croquis dress, and you draw these folds also. See, before you coloring them, you draw all the folds, how the fabric is, like, laying on the human body and everything. By looking like this also, you can say this is a dense fabric. In the top, you can say it's a dense fabric. It's little thicker, and you can say this physical properties, you can find it in the velvet, you can find it in the cotton, or, like, or denim, or any kind of a fabric you can use. Stick to the fabric, and less folds means it's a little dense fabric. And even here, the folds are not occurring like a silk. Okay, here the folds are occurring like a, not like a chiffon or something like that. It's giving you kind of an interpretation like a pure silk. Okay, and that's how it's falling in the human body. Not exactly completely a pure silk, but it's kind of like a Georgette pure silk. You can say a Georgette silk. I mean silk Georgette. This kind of a fabric you can also say. But even Georgette silk also, if you hold by hand, it won't come in this shape. So that means it's little more thicker than the Georgette silk. It's little less flowy than the Georgette silk, right? So what is the fabrics we have in that kind of a silk? You can say cotton silk, or you can say, like, silk, pure silk. Okay, so these kind of a fabrics, which is you can use it over here. That's what its interpretation means. Like, here that flow of this garment means basically. I hope you guys understand why I'm saying the physical properties are very important, because that's how your design works basically. So any doubts over here, guys? If I speak too fast, please let me know. Again, I'll repeat the topic. If any of you guys want any of the topics want me to repeat, please let me know before I end the session. Okay. So I'll show you one more style of illustration. You can see that one. You can see this illustration, it's nothing colored. It's not even blended. It's everything comes with the hatching only. See the hatching? If you zoom this one, see here, you understand hatching means, right? Hatching means lines, the cross lines constantly drawing. That's how it's interpreting the shadow values. Here they didn't use any blender. Someone asked me previously, sir, what if I'm using a sketchbook? If you have such a kind of a style, you can use a sketchbook. Sketchbook gives you tremendous results like this. Even Photoshop and of course Procreate also gives you the results like this. Sketchbook also gives you, because you don't use any blender over here. Everything is related on the hatching only. See the shadows, it was like, hatched like this, and for darker shadows it's hatched like mixing those two, hatching like this. This is cross hatching and this is another hatching. If you mix it, you'll get more darker lines, like, you understand me? So that is the hatching. You can feel this one over here. Okay, and it's also interpreted with contour lines to represent the details over here. Yes, someone saying something. So for different between, like, blending and hatching. Okay guys, so this is one more illustration in the hatching style, like, drawing with the graphite pencil. You can see that one. See this one, it works with the marker. These are marker style. So even in the markers here, they didn't use any blender. They just simply use the strokes. Okay, and how many of you guys are using markers here? So anyone using markers? Anthony markers?
Yes, sir. We use touchable markers.
Yeah. These illustrations are done with this markers only. So like, you can see the strokes over here, how the strokes has been happened here. So the reason why I'm showing you guys, like, see, digital illustration and hand illustrations are both are not separate. Both are the same only. The techniques are the same. Okay. It's only the tools, how we're going to use them. That's it. So that's why it's very important to understand the style of illustrations also at the same time. Okay.
Yes, sir. Got it.
So let's get into the other one. And, let me see. Yeah, for example, yeah, this is the blending we're gonna discuss tomorrow. We started coloring and everything. You can see, let me zoom this one, and you can see the denim. It was from the previous class, like, when I'm teaching Google, so you can see the blending and all those kind of details. Okay, still it's a faster process, but you can see the little good results. So tomorrow's session, we're going to talk about, like, we're going to apply your fabric, how we're going to color them, how we're going to give the details and everything. And as I said previously, these tools where we're going to use, so I will show you the dodge tools. And until the time is, anyway, we have little time left for this session. So I will show you how this dodge tool and the burn tool going to work basically. Okay, so I want little more light here. I'll increase my brush size to bigger. I want little more light here. This, okay. I want a little more light here falling over here. See, so if I given a stroke here, you can see that the reflection over here. These things you can do it little faster in the Photoshop. Okay, but in the other platforms, I don't think you have such kind of a tools will help you to support to do things little faster like this. Understand me? See now, then it become more live. Okay, this is a dodge tool. You can see I'm using dodge tool to increase the lights and depths. So for example, in particular area, I want little more light. As I said, like tomorrow I'll talk, I'll also explain you the color, how the color gonna works, what is the tones, what is the tones and everything. This is what I'm trying to show you. Is, for example, there is a light directly reflects on the genes, for example. So see, now you can see this folds little more clear. Okay, somewhere light's gonna reflect directly on the genes, and you'll get this kind of a lighter tones. You can see with this tool, you can make it work faster. And I'll use this much. Tomorrow we'll discuss more detail, like and using with the pen. But for now, just I'll show you. You can blend them smoothly, and you can give a proper shape how these things to be work basically. This is how I'm going to use the smudge tool and blend tool to work on the details and everything. And burn tool, I'll also show you the burn tool, how it's going to work basically. And this is the same thing. It does the opposite thing what the dodge tool do to make it things darker. For example, here, this area, I want to be more darker because there is no light over this side. Okay. This side, I'll make it more darker. You can see it became more darker now. See now? Okay. This is how it works. And this is how we can do the stuff like little more faster and easier, and details that you can get in the Photoshop. Of course, like manual drawing, it takes hours and hours and drawing, but digital you can make things little faster by using this kind of a tools and techniques. Yes, this is what we're going to discuss in this class, mostly about the tools and techniques, how we're going to make things faster and more easier than compared to the hand drawings. Okay. What else I have from previous class? Let me see what else is there. This is for photo manipulation. So creating a mood board. In this laptop, I think these are the stuff is left. So if you guys have any questions, you can ask me now, guys. So I can explain you. If you guys need to repeat any topic before it's getting in, so you can ask me now. You can see the blazer when you're drawing them. So you can see the depths and details. This is also one of the previous session, I think, when I'm explaining to Indonesia. So you can see the facial details and coloring them, like depends what kind of a skin tone you want to get. That depends. You can choose your skin tone color and everything that you can. I'll explain when it's going into the color session. But tomorrow session, this is what you guys gonna learn how to color them, how to give the details, more depths and details and everything. Okay. So tomorrow session, this is what going to be. So please practice. And if you guys have a drawing tab, please connect to your laptop and practice. Okay. I can only teach you the techniques, but end of the day, it comes with your practice only. It has to practice, and that's what I can say. Like my best suggestion for you guys. So, any more questions? So these are the things you guys need to remember. Okay, layers and file, brush, and smudge tool, burn tool, and dodge tool, and polygamy lasso tool. I'll teach you tomorrow why I'm going to use a polygamy lasso tool also. In the same session, I'll continue the same drawing. Okay, I'll teach you how to color them, make it faster and easier by using polygamy lasso tool, and how to apply the fabrics and everything to this one, and those kind of things, how I usually apply the fabrics, how I makes things work faster and easier, and I will show you that also. So usually you can finish your illustration hardly couple of hours, maybe 3 hours. You can finish your illustration. Hand drawing gonna take you at least 6 hours to finish with the detail work and everything. Now the digital you don't need to be. I think in your case, for my case, I'll take like 40 minutes to finish one illustration hardly. That's it. So 40 minutes is good enough for me to draw a complete detailed illustration. Okay. So in 1 minute, it's gonna cancel the session, guys. I'll see you tomorrow then. If you guys have any questions, please text me, and I hope everyone got the point and everyone understand. Yes.
Thank you, sir, for wonderful sessions.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. It's gonna.